Anna was a young woman in her mid-20s who carried a heart full of dreams. She wanted to write, she wanted to be healthy, she wanted to build a life that made her proud. But every morning when she woke up, reality felt heavier than her dreams. The alarm clock rang, but instead of excitement, she felt a wave of guilt for all the things she had promised herself yesterday and failed to do. Her phone was the first thing she picked up. Scrolling through endless pictures of her friends, she saw their perfect moments, graduations, new jobs, vacations, smiling faces. Each image was like a mirror reminding her of what she had not achieved. She compared her messy room, unfinished projects, and restless mind with their shining successes. And every time, she felt smaller. Anna would make big plans. She would write down long lists, go to the gym every day. Write 10 pages of my book. Meditate for 1 hour. Change my entire life in a week. The excitement of planning gave her a burst of energy. But when morning came, the mountain looked too tall. One skid day turned into 2, and soon, her lists became just another reminder of failure. There were nights when Anna sat at her desk with her notebook open, staring at the blank page. She whispered to herself, "Why can't I just do it? Why am I so weak?" Her inner voice was harsh, almost cruel. It told her she was behind, that she was wasting time, that maybe she wasn't meant to succeed. Tears often rolled down her face, not because she lacked ambition, but because she felt powerless to move forward. At work, her colleagues seemed confident and sure of themselves. They shared their achievements during meetings, while Anna kept her head down, afraid someone would ask her about her goals. Even casual conversations with friends left her feeling empty, as if she was running in place while everyone else sprinted ahead. The conflict inside her grew stronger. She wanted change. She wanted to become better. But each time she tried to take a giant leap, she fell harder. It was a cycle she knew too well: plan big, start strong, quit early, then drown in guilt. She began to believe that maybe she was destined to remain stuck, that success was for others but not for her. One evening, after another long and draining day, Anna stopped by a bookstore. Her eyes wandered until they landed on a simple book with a title that seemed to whisper directly to her: Small Steps, Big Change. She opened it, and one sentence caught her breath. It read, "You don't have to climb the mountain in one day. Just take one small step daily, and the mountain will move." The words felt too simple, almost unrealistic. But something deep inside her stirred. For the first time, instead of pressure, she felt a hint of relief. Could it really be that she didn't have to overhaul her entire life at once? Could she simply start with something so small it felt almost silly, yet do it daily? That night, lying in bed, Anna kept hearing that line repeat in her head: one small step daily. She didn't yet believe it would change her life, but she decided to test it. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. She picked up her pen and wrote just one short paragraph in her notebook. Only 5 sentences. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. For the first time in a long time, she closed her eyes with a little spark of hope. The next morning, Anna woke up with the same heaviness, but something felt slightly different. Instead of staring at a mountain of unfinished goals, she remembered the small steps she had taken the night before. One short paragraph. It wasn't much, but it existed. For the first time, she felt she had started something. So she made a promise to herself, not to write 10 pages, not to finish her book in a month, but simply to write 1 paragraph a day. Just one. A task so small it was almost impossible to fail. And that became her new rule. The first week, she filled 7 small paragraphs. At the end, she had almost 2 pages written. It wasn't groundbreaking, but for Anna, it was proof that she could stay consistent. She felt a tiny flame of pride flicker inside her. The inner critic that used to scream "you're lazy" now had less power. Her experiment didn't stop there. She decided to apply the same principle to her health. Instead of forcing herself into a 1-hour workout she would quit after 3 days, she started with 5 minutes of stretching each morning. Just 5 minutes. Slowly, those 5 minutes turned into 10, then 15. After a month, exercise wasn't something she feared, it was something she looked forward to. As weeks turned into months, Anna noticed small but powerful shifts. Her notebook began to fill with pages of writing. Her body felt stronger. Her mornings became calmer. People around her started noticing too. A colleague smiled and said, "You look different lately, more confident, more alive." Those words lit up her heart. Still, the journey wasn't perfect. There were days she didn't want to write, days she wanted to skip her 5 minutes of movement. But the beauty of small steps was this: missing one day didn't feel like the end. She could always come back the next day, because the step was never too heavy. Over time, Anna learned the greatest lesson: success isn't built in sudden explosions of effort, but in gentle drops that fall every day. One drop after another, until they carve rivers through stone. The moment of transformation came 6 months later. She sat in her room, flipping through the filled pages of her notebook. What once had been empty was now alive with her words, her thoughts, her voice. She realized she had written more in 6 months than she had in the last 5 years combined. Tears filled her eyes, but this time, they were tears of joy. Her body also told a story of change. She was healthier, more energetic, and her reflection in the mirror carried a softness of pride instead of shame. She no longer compared herself to others, she compared herself only to who she was yesterday. And each comparison brought her peace. The real victory wasn't just the book taking shape or the improved health. It was the new belief she carried: I can change my life. I am capable. That belief, built from daily small steps, became the foundation of her strength. Anna understood now that life doesn't demand giant leaps to prove your worth. It simply asks you to show up daily, even in the smallest ways. The power of small steps had not only moved her forward but had transformed who she was inside. She wanted to share this with anyone who felt stuck, anyone drowning in the weight of impossible goals. Her message was simple: you don't need to finish the race today. Just take one step. Then another. And one day, you look back and realize those steps carried you further than you ever imagined. That night, she closed her notebook, smiled, and whispered to herself, "Small steps. Big change." And for the first time, she truly believed it.